Right then people, so here it is, the Samsung S20 Plus, and it was delivered earlier today by a delivery man who used his hands. And what the hands have on them? Germs! Or even perhaps a coronavirus. So it's important whenever you buy a new product, whether it be at the supermarket, the local store, whether you have something delivered, that you clean it down when you get it home. So I have with me some Johnson's baby wipes, and this is going to be part of my unboxing. So don't turn off yet. Some useful safety tips here. The virus has a lipid membrane, and any lipid cleansing cloth or soap or whatever will disrupt the lipid membrane on the virus and hopefully make it, or should make it, inert. Okay, so give that a nice good clean all over. There we go. So spending extra money on bacterial wipes is a bit of a waste of money in a sense, because it's not a bacteria, it's a virus. So just soap and water, and I got a really good deal on these Pampers wipes. Not that I have any children, well I do actually, but he's a bit too old for these. And I also got in this box a phone case, and that also is going to be given a bit of a scrub down. Okay, there we go, feeling a lot better now about that. Don't forget to clean your hands afterwards, that's really important too, because anything on that or on those boxes could now be on my hands. Okay, so there we go. So what am I going to start with? I could start with the case, but that just seems too boring, especially after doing a wipe down. Suppose I'll start with the actual phone itself. It's here, ready. Okay, so let's just pull this. So I got this on contract from Vodafone. Get rid of that. Oh, I wonder why they do that. They make it like an easy tear, and then they actually glue the box so you can't easily then get in the box. Right, so anyway, my previous phone was a Samsung Galaxy S9, and it's the 2-year end of contract, so this is my new phone, and I can't get that open. My goodness, that's hard work. Oh, what's this? It's actually a Vodafone box. Okay, so just to give you an idea, there you go. So there it is inside the box. Maybe I'll just lift the camera a touch. Right, so that should make it a bit easier for you to see what I'm doing. Okay, so that's what's inside the box. So there it is, the S20. My new phone. Right, let's get rid of that. Just some Vodafone gum there. Get rid of that, we don't need that. So here's the box then. So it's a nice box, similar to the box that I had for the S9, what I got in 2018. So this one is the S20 Plus 5G version. There is apparently a 4G version, which is a bit cheaper. Security tags has not been opened. There we go. So there's not much more on the box, just some garbage on the back there. So cosmic grey, 128GB. I'm not really worried about the fact that it's only 128GB. So I could have gone for the 512GB, but you can put over a terabyte of internal storage yourself in here via a micro SD card. Right then, so let's just, I need to get one of those trendy YouTube knives. I will talk about the specs a little bit, but I'm not going to go crazy on the specs here because this is an unboxing. But as a photographer, I'm more interested in what the camera can do. Okay, so let's take that off. Okay, so there's the phone, which we'll look at in just a moment. And I've got this, and that's now empty. So what is this? This is like, so I forget what this is called, but obviously you might not know, so maybe it's not obvious, but you use this to open the SD card tray, and I've just dropped it on the floor. I will retrieve that later. Okay then, what's inside this little box? Right, quick start guide, warranty card, and some stuff in Russian, I think. Okay. Right, so here it is. The phone itself, not as big as I thought it would be. I was really expecting like a monster phone. This is not really that big. At least it doesn't seem that big. Let's just check it against my Samsung Galaxy S9. So bear with me a second. I'm going to take it out of its case. Excuse the noise. Okay, and yeah, I do have a thing for Queen of Dragons. Right. So size wise, let's get this a bit closer. Not a massive difference, is there really? I mean, I think what we've got here is there's less. With this, it's got a bezel at the top and a bezel at the bottom, quite a large pronounced bezel, whereas this just doesn't seem to have one. So I think the reason this isn't quite as big as I thought it might be is because there's less of a bezel at the top and bottom, which gives the phone a smaller profile but keeps a larger screen size. So the screen size on this is 6.7 inches diagonally, and the screen size on my Galaxy S9 was, well, it is 5.8 inches diagonally. So let's put that one out of the way. Take this stuff off the back. So it looks quite nice. It's not very well, I say it probably does look quite shiny on the camera because there's a light on it, but it's not what I'd say really metallic sort of shiny. Obviously, I think it's pretty obvious this is going to attract a lot of marks. Here's the camera here. Oh, what's it say? It's more like a cluster of cameras. So I might be wrong here, but I think there's a 12 megapixel landscape or wide angle camera, 12 megapixel standard camera, there's a 64 megapixel zoom camera which goes up to 30 times. Apparently the 30 times zoom isn't very good quality, and 10 times is as far as some reviewers on other videos have said they will go. The camera bump is quite pronounced, so definitely need a case for this, which I bought. Hopefully it's the case for the S20 Plus, not the S20, because I might have done that. That's the kind of thing I would do, buy the wrong case. And then there's a depth of field camera as well. So yeah, it's quite a handsome unit. Now then, what else have we got? Typical kind of a Samsung. Here we go. So this is the, I believe I'm right in saying this is a 25 watt quick charger. And this is obviously the UK version with a 3-pin plug. And it's quite compact, so easy to take with you on trips. And then what else do we have? Looks like a USB 3 cable. That's a USB 3 to USB 3. Let's have a look at this charger a minute. So the charger has a USB 3. Sometimes you see a USB 3 with a USB 2. That's mostly what you see. That's what came with my old Samsung S9, but this is just USB 3 all the way. And what do we have here? It's starting to look like a coffin, isn't it? Like a casket. I shouldn't have said that really. What's in here? Oh, some headphones. I'm guessing these are just, what the heck is that? What is this? I'm going to have to research what this thing is. I mean, it looks like some weird sort of bug. Like a little plastic millipede, I don't know. Oh, is there something in there? Is it protecting something? What is this? It feels wrong. Yeah, I don't want to pull that back and break it. I don't know what it is. I'll have to look into this whatever that is. But these, yeah, because basically Samsung have done away with the headphone 3.5mm socket, and now you have to use the USB-C socket with your headphones, or use wireless Bluetooth headphones with this unit. Is there any power? No. So it's totally flat. Battery's totally dead, nothing there at all. It'd be nice if they shipped it with some juice. I know they recommend, well, not Samsung, but often it's recommended, but you charge a new device for 16 hours. But yeah, I'm gonna have to charge this. It's a bit annoying really, because I'd like to get straight in there and just see what the phone is like. But yeah, it's quite a nice looking device. It has it's like glass on the back, Gorilla Glass on the front. It has a screen protector already installed. I can feel that with my thumb, so I heard about this and I think it's good that they put that on there. So at least it will save me some money in the short term. So what I'm going to do with this phone, because my main interest, apart from being able to make calls and use the internet, is the camera on the back. We've got Easter coming up. We've got 4 days, well, at least I've got 4 days off at Easter, and hopefully the weather will be good, and I'm allowed out once a day for exercise. So I'm going to take this phone on my journeys, and I'm going to just see what the hell I can do with this. I'm going to try really hard to take the best images and video possible. So this isn't a proper kind of specs review, because there's loads of those on YouTube. This is really just me getting a first sort of look at it, and my intention for you guys is to go out there and really see if I can make this camera shine. I'm going to try every trick that I know to get professional images out of this phone. Okay, so let's put this away for a moment. Seriously, what is this? I mean, it's just weird. Pull that back. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. You're probably laughing at me or calling me names, but obviously these, I keep saying obviously, I should stop doing that. I'm not a police officer. Yeah, so they're just for your ears, different size earbuds or earbud covers, whatever the term is. Right then, so now it's the case, which I bought from Amazon. So what we've got here, it's a case for cell phone. RANT protection. Never heard of it. So there's not even anything on here to say what phone it's for, as far as I can see. Oh no, it says here for Galaxy S20 Plus. So it looks like I made the right decision. I didn't buy the wrong case. I went for the clear case because I wanted to show off the space grey of the phone's outer shell. And I went for a case that was fairly basic. I didn't go for some armoured sort of a case. The main reason being, when I fly my drone, it's a real pain to have to take my case off my phone to then insert my phone into the drone controller. It's just a nightmare. So I've gone for a case which I'm hoping will fit inside my Mavic 2 Zoom's controller. And that's another reason for me buying this phone and going for the S20 Plus. In fact, it's the main reason for me getting the S20 Plus. I used to have a iPad mini Mark 3 or version 3, and it was nice and big and it fit in the controller nice, but the screen was something like 300 or 400 nits, whereas the screen on this phone is 1200 nits, so considerably brighter, actually brighter than the DJI what is it called, a clear crystal sky unit, which I think is 1,000 nits, but I might be wrong, but I'm sure it's around 1,000 nits. So this is brighter than that, and at 6.7 inches it's quite a lot bigger than my old phone, so hopefully it'll be easy for me to fly my drone and get the shots more easily and more safely with the bigger screen. Okay, so let's just see if this, or how this fits. It's kind of fairly basic here. There you go. It's already got a screen protector on there, courtesy of Samsung. So it's just a shame I can't switch it on. Damn. Okay then, so that's it for now. This is what you get in the box, just a quick rundown. So you get the phone, .25-watt charger, fast charger, USB-C to USB-C cable, strange snake thing, and these little earbuds, which I probably will never use because I've got a nice pair of Bluetooth JVC speakers, which are just fantastic. Okay, so that's what you get. So the next time you see me with this phone, I'll have some sample video and images for you as well. Okay, so until next time, get out there, stay safe. Don't forget to wash things down with a lipid substance like soap. Okay guys, see you later. So here we go, Samsung. I'm not a phone aficionado. I'm not a fan of phones. Phones aren't something that I'm really into. I don't have a phone channel. I'm not mad on phones, but I've always had one, at least since I was about 20. I'm getting old now, so I mean that's when phones really first started coming out. Don't even laugh about that, Lee. Anyway, this here, I love it. I think it's a really nice phone. And when I first got it, I was enthralled with it. I was just amazed really, because I come from a Galaxy S9, which is still a really nice phone. But this is something else. So why am I really annoyed? Exynos 990. That's a chipset we get in Europe, in South America, in Africa, and a few other places around the world. The Exynos 990 chip is Samsung's own proprietary chip. They develop it themselves and they put it in devices. It saves on costs and so on. It's a fairly powerful chip, the Exynos 990, but it does not compare to the Snapdragon from Qualcomm 865 processor. And looking over the internet, I've seen many a review where there's been a difference in performance of between 20 and 40%. And this 20 to 40% difference in performance translates to about 1 hour less of battery life. It means with the phones being less efficient with the Exynos 990 chip, that we're getting a hotter phone, less efficient. It tends to throttle more in terms of GPU performance, as well as CPU performance. So when you're playing higher end games, you're not getting the same frame rate. So the difference might be between, you might get something like a 40, well I've seen it on a review, I won't say who it was because I've forgotten. But there was a chap on YouTube who was getting 47 frames per second on a high-end game with the Samsung S20 and the Exynos 990 chip, and he was getting 60 frames a second with a Snapdragon Qualcomm 865 chip. That's a massive performance difference, and it really is quite a big difference. Now, I'll accept, but in everyday usage you're not going to know much of a difference, and for somebody like me, my main interest in a phone is basically just having a phone that I can consume social media on, something I can watch YouTube videos on, Netflix. I'm interested in the camera because that's really the whole point of this review. But it's not nice to think that you've been given something of a lesser standard than what people are getting elsewhere. And I think it's really quite disgusting on Samsung's part. I understand, but the way things work in the world today with the global market, companies source parts from all over the world to cut down on costs and yada yada yada. Let me explain. So my Mavic 2 Zoom drone here, the motors, who knows where they come from? They might come from China, they might come from Taiwan. This motor might be from China, this motor might be from Taiwan, because companies source parts all over the world to save on costs. I understand that. But the parts should be the same. I wouldn't want this motor to be more powerful than this motor. That's not going to work, is it? Things need to sort of balance out. And I don't think the processor in this really does balance out. Now, with the Galaxy S9, they also used the Exynos processor. Not the same one as this, obviously it was an older one, but they used the Exynos in the UK Europe version, and they used the Snapdragon again in the US market. Now, what really gets to me about this is Samsung. They're based in South Korea, and traditionally they've been using the Exynos chips in the phones in the home market. But for this generation of phone, they've gone for the Snapdragon 865 chip, and they've shipped their own Exynos chip 990 all over the world for us Europeans to have, and for the South Africans to have, and for the South Americans to have. But the chaps in America and China and South Korea, they get a better deal. They're paying the same amount of money, but they're getting a superior chip with superior battery life and superior cooling. So that's what the point of my rant really is, just, but I think it's really outrageous, but Samsung should be doing this. And I feel like I want to call this the S20 Plus Lite, because a performance difference of 20 to 40% on a device really does put it in a different class. And it's certainly not up there with the S20 Plus in the United States. A lot of YouTubers based in America, they talk about how fantastic this phone is because it's got the Snapdragon 865 chip. Well, not if you're in Europe, chaps. Not if you're in Europe. We just don't get that same chip. So whilst I'm annoyed at this, and let me just put this other kind of example out there. Let's say but I want the very latest Porsche sports car, and I've gone for the top spec Porsche sports car, and I'm not going to use that car at full speed. I'm not going to use that car at maximum power, am I? Because it's illegal. I'm not going to be driving down the road, speeding down the road at 200 plus miles per hour in my fancy new Porsche. But if I buy that car and it's costing me $200,000 or pounds, and then I realise that in the United States they sell the exact same car, but the engine is 30% more powerful, that's really going to get to me. I'm never going to use the engine at that full power, but it's still going to get to me because I'm getting a worse deal. And that's kind of how this feels. So the long and short of it is, I got this phone not because of the processor. I'm not a high-end gamer. I'm never going to use it to its full performance. I'm never going to use the 12 gig of RAM that's on here. To me, probably 4 gigs always going to sit around doing nothing, so it's kind of a waste of power, sort of a waste of money. But the specs look good. But I wanted the biggest screen so I could fly my drone more easily. I wanted the biggest screen in case the sat nav in my car breaks down, and it's just easy to navigate with a phone screen this big, a 6.7-inch screen. I wanted the better camera, and I'm really happy with the camera. I think the camera is really good. It's the best phone camera I've ever used, and if you use it properly, you can get some really good results out of it. And the video is not too bad either. The video is pretty good too. So yeah, those were the main reasons for me wanting to get this phone, not just as an upgrade, but for the larger screen and for the improved camera. So going on about the processor ultimately is kind of pointless because it's not the reason I bought the phone, but it still annoys me, it still narks me a bit. So I've signed a petition with change.org, and the last time I checked there was 47 signatures on there, and basically the petition is asking Samsung to treat all customers around the world equally, and at least to make the Exynos chips as powerful or as close as possible in performance to the Snapdragon chips of future. So before I go, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell notification, and leave a comment.